Hi guys, I'm Moldran and today I want to talk about efficient Paragon farming methods. I don't know if you have seen this already, but the number one world Paragon character, a barbarian named Alkaizer, started to stream on Twitch TV now. So I went on his stream, checked what he was doing because many people were telling me on my stream that guy must be account sharing, that guy must be a bot and so on. I checked, but he's actually doing everything really legitimate and just found a very efficient way to farm. So first I'm gonna show you my gear and then I'll go straight away starting with the run, and I'll talk a bit during that and explain a few things. So yeah, my gear is 5 base Immortal Kings. It's not really needed. What you do wanna have is an experience gem in the head, which should give you 27% plus bonus experience. Whatever you can afford. But yeah, the Immortal King set is nice to have, but it's not mandatory. Secondly, you want to have 24% movement speed. So I get this through Lacuni Prowlers in my boots, but there are also other pieces that you can get movement speed on, for example pants. And I'm also using a layer of Signet, but apparently this is not that important. Alkaizer doesn't use one, but I think it helps a bit. And now for the main hand. Alkaizer says that it must be a fury weapon, like a mighty weapon. However, I'm playing with an axe, my kill speed and my DPS is a lot higher and it still works. Like, I don't have troubles maintaining my rough berserk, so might as well play with an axe and get that additional DPS. Especially like 170k is a lot, but for example if you only have 50k, then getting those 10 or 15k more because of an axe is really gonna help. Alright, so let's get started right away. Okay, and here you can see the starting experience, 45.3 million. So I'm gonna calculate the experience that I get this run and then do a few calculations so I get the XP per hour. And yeah, the basic idea of this farming method is you break down Act 3 to only 5 zones. Like you break it down to the 5 most efficient zones and farm them. And then a run takes around 10 minutes. With worse gear, I guess it can take up to 50 minutes or maybe even 20 minutes if you're very bad gear, but yeah, with my gear it takes less than 10 minutes actually, and it's extremely efficient. This is my second run, so I probably not even farming as good as I could, but it has already been an extreme XP increase. So now let me explain to you the basics of Alkaizer's method. He always starts the run in the core of Ariad. He locks out in before Esmenan and then he clears the core of Ariad. The reason for this is he wants to get 2 or 3 elite stacks quickly. After this, with this method you go to the Tower of Tam level 1, and here you probably are able to get your 5 stacks. You mainly want to go for the leads, but you also want to kill all the white mobs for additional experience gain. What you can see here is my Wrath Berserk is still up, and if you play correctly in those 5 zones it shouldn't drop unless you do a mistake. But even if it drops, it should already be up again, so you're always going to be able to move at extreme speed, because you have 24% movement speed from items, then you have the sprint, I don't know how much exactly, and then you have Wrath Berserk. And this adds up a lot. But yeah, after clearing this area, now you see we have 5 stacks, then we're going to, slowly going to the big zones, like the big experience zones. With 5 stacks, a real trader level 2 is insane XP. Like all the scorpions, you even get kill streaks for them. I don't think kill streaks matter that much, but they are definitely a nice bonus. And yeah, the build that I'm using is the standard double tornado build. Wrath Berserk, Thrive on Chaos, Battle Rage with Into the Fray, Sprint with Run Like the Wind, Warcry Impunity, Bash. I think you can use different bash runes. Then we have Whirlwind with Hurricane. As you were able to see here, I was actually picking up item level 63 rare. And that's one of the differences between my farming method and Alkaizer's. he just leaves every single rare on the ground. Even at the 63, I think the only rares that he considers to pick up are Slayers. But yeah, with my method, I'm actually doing two things different than him. First, I'm picking up all 63 rares and rings, and secondly, I'm also killing goblins. Like you see here, it takes 2 seconds, and those 2 seconds don't really matter. I mean, if you're going for World First, where every second, every minute counts, I think his way is the right way to do it. Just leave everything on the ground and skip goblins. But I think if you are just normally playing like I do, I'm not going for World First or anyone. I just want to farm efficiently and effective. And then I think it's best to just pick up all the item level 63 rares, and because they got the potential to be good. And also kill goblins. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. He probably wasn't able to farm at this rate when he started. I think his first rate was, for example, 40 million per hour. Then he tweaked some stuff, like he was experimenting what gives me the most XP. He got it up to 45 million. Then he probably improved his gear a bit, got 5-piece Immortal Kings, which got it up to 50 million. And then he finally did, and I think he's at 55 million now per hour, which is pretty good. I was even able to exceed his amount because I have better gear. My DPS unbuffed is like 50k higher, so I just destroy elite packs. As you can see here, after the Arrear Crater level 2, we skipped the level 1, we are going to Fields of Slaughter. And this zone is great as well because it has many white mobs. It's easy to keep your Rough Berserk up here, even though I lose it in the start because there just weren't any mobs, but usually you can have it up the entire run. But as you can see, now I lost it, but it's gonna be up again in a second. I was talking about dash runes before. I was interrupted by the item level 63 items. Instigation is viable, but what I prefer as well is Pulverize, because it helps you in a situation where you need to get your fury back. And in this run I actually had many occurrences, especially because I don't run with a mighty weapon, where Bash Pulverize actually saved me my Rough Berserk buff. And this is pretty huge for the run speed. But yeah, you also get many rares and legendaries from doing this. I think if you do full Act 3 runs, you get a bit more loot, because you have more uptime or higher uptime of 5 stacks. However, I don't think it's worth the loss in experience gain. I did some calculations, and I think that this is really how you should farm as long as you enjoy it. And yeah, back to Alkaizer. Many people say his account is being played by many people, like 3 people playing it. Then other people say he bought it and stuff, but I don't think so. I did some calculations, and he farms right now at 55 million per hour. I calculated that in the beginning it was less, like 40 million, so on average I took around 50 million per hour. And if someone farmed 50 million per hour for 12 hours a day, he would be where Alkaizer is right now. And I think 12 hours a day are possible for a single human. I played much more than this when I was younger. I've watched Paragon play 20 hours a day for 2 weeks after Diablo launched, and I don't really think that he's cheating or exploiting. He's 100% legitimate in my eyes, and he's just a very effective and efficient farmer. Like, he came up with this idea, don't know how many people used it. What I do think is there are other players that were going for World First, but they even played more. For example, a Barbarian that plays 14 hours a day or 15 hours a day, or maybe even some shared character, but they didn't level as effective as he does. For example, maybe they did the same that I do, which is full like 3 clears, and this nets like 25 million less XP per hour. It's like almost twice as much XP that he gains. But yeah, at the end of this run you'll see I get approximately 10 million XP in 10 minutes. And if I do a full like 3 clear, I get 20 million XP in 35 minutes or 40 minutes. So you're basically doing Act 3 like 4 times as fast, 10 minutes instead of 40 minutes, and you only lose 50% XP. So it's actually twice as fast. Not almost, but not really twice as fast, but almost. It's pretty close. And yeah, if I would have been farming, if I would have farmed with this method since the start, I would be at like level 44 now instead of 35, which is also pretty significant. But yeah, to level a Paragon quickly, there are basically two things that you need to do. First, you need to level effectively. For example, the 5 areas, like 3. I haven't seen a better method yet. You can probably still tweak this run a bit and make it even faster, but right now I'm pretty satisfied. As I say, I tweaked it already for myself, because compared to Alkaizer, I'm picking up item level 63 rares. I don't leave them on the ground, because they got the potential to be one of the best items in game. He argues that for most slot legendaries are better, and while this is true to some extent, you can still get pretty good rares. I've sold rares for above 100 million since the patch. And yeah, you can see this run is slowly getting to an end. I'm gonna you should see a timer now. I'm gonna add this later to the video, and then we will calculate exactly the million XP per hour, and yeah, do some other calculations just to see how effective this method is and what gave Alkaizer an edge over everyone else. Yeah, here you can see me picking up razor spikes, and the thing is, you don't really save time by not picking up stuff. That's like not even a second. Like I pick up stuff in say 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. It's like instant reaction if you know the names, and it's really not that big of a time loss. What costs time is the identifying of the items. For example, here you can see I stacked up a few items already from a few runs, and identifying them and thinking, oh, is this an upgrade, should I sell this, takes a lot of time. The second thing that takes a lot of time is putting out items in the auction house. Alkaizer just completely ignores the auction house, and yeah, that probably saved him a lot of time. But yeah, do the calculations now. Alright, so let's calculate this. We got 55.3 million XP final, minus 45.3 is 10 million XP in that run, divided by 9.5 minutes times 60 minutes, we have 63.2 million XP per hour using that method. 63.2 million XP per hour. Just to give you a comparison, before the patch I was farming complete Act 3, all dungeons, all maps, exploring, and I got about 35 million XP. So as I said before, this is almost twice as fast. And I would be a much higher Paragon level now if I would have farmed like this from the start. But you know, I didn't have the knowledge, and I think we should give Alkaizer full credit for coming up with that method. He didn't share it, obviously, because other people could have passed him, like people that would account share or people that simply have more time than him. But yeah, he shared it now, and I think many people are gonna use this in the future because it really helps grinding and farming the Paragon levels and leveling quickly. So yeah, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed it a bit, and yeah, good luck and have fun grinding those Paragon levels.